Yeah, it's one of these cases that has effectively gone cold at this point because we've stopped receiving new tips and new information. And we have received many, many tips. We've developed many leads, and we have worked them through to completion. From an investigative standpoint, there has been work to do, which we have done every time something comes up. When something comes up again, every time we immediately go back and investigate and see if we finally have an answer. And this is one of those cases that's very difficult because there are no answers. There are no witnesses that we know of that we've been able to identify despite working through many, many different scenarios, leads, possible persons of interest. We just keep coming up without any further information. So this case, like some of these that we see, even in our own agency in the past, we have to be patient sometimes. And it's difficult because it's terrible for family, it's terrible for friends, but at the same time, there's a point where there's nothing more to force, and we have to settle back and look again and go back and review the case and see if there's something we've missed, see if there's someone we can re-explore or re-interview. And we're definitely in that phase at this point. Obviously, any new information that appears will lead to immediate investigation and an attempt to resolve it. But again, for right now, we are kind of stuck and waiting for that next bit of information, that next bit of evidence, that next anything that leads us down a road we can use to go forward.
Well, these are obviously difficult, often frustrating, investigating missing person reports, and I know that you have ones that go back even further.
We do. Discussing this earlier, we looked back to the 2005 case with Cynthia Marl, who is another missing, who's been missing for a little bit more than 13 years. 13 years and a couple of weeks today. And it's one where there was a lot more evidence. There was some physical evidence. There were a lot of things, but realistically, we never found Cynthia. We're not certain as to what's happened to her in total, and we have long since run out of information or leads. Occasionally still we'll get some little snippet of information that can lead us down a path. Unfortunately, in that case, we have two potential suspects who both died, and so that narrows that one even further. The contrast to Jesse's case, where we have worked through our potential suspect pool and worked through our person of interest pool, some of them several times as they've come back up. We don't even have that right now. And hopefully someday very soon, we'll get some information that will lead us to a path. But right now, we're just stuck.